And I think they do a lot of things in this first episode that really show that they are stepping away from what the original Charmed was. Hey guys, it's Kristen, and today I'm doing a little recap of New York Comic Con 2019. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what I learned at the Roswell, New Mexico, Charmed, and Nancy Drew panels. Consider subscribing if you like my videos, and drop down in the comments and let me know what show you're most excited for and what you think is coming next. Alright, let's get into it. Let's talk about the Roswell, New Mexico panel. That one was probably my favorite. I had such a fun time learning about what's coming up next for the show. I think the biggest news that came out of this is that the OG Max Evans, yep, that's right, Jason Behr, is going to be appearing this season on Roswell, New Mexico. He's gonna have at least a 4-episode arc, and one of the episodes is even gonna be directed by his former co-star, Sherry Appleby, the original Liz. This year is the 20th anniversary of Roswell, so it was really exciting to find out on the day of the actual anniversary that this was happening. They also mentioned that we are going to meet Liz and Rosa's mom. I know that was someone that was mentioned a couple times last season, but that, we never actually got to meet her. This season, she is coming into the picture. I'm excited to find out who's going to be playing her because I think that's going to be a really interesting role. We're also going to learn more about Maria and her mom. What kind of abilities does she have? We know that there's like some kind of psychic ability in her family. We're going to learn more about that necklace that she has. So I think that's going to be really cool to kind of see that not only are we following like this overarching story of like, Roswell, New Mexico and the aliens that live there, but also everyone's kind of getting their own storylines and plots that are going to be dived deeper into. And then I was really excited because I get to actually ask a question during the panel. I will insert it here and you can see their answer. This show like blew my mind. The twists and turns.
Mine too.
I was so shook. But my question, I loved the part where Michael got to learn more about like his family and like everybody that was at that center. And I was wondering if we might learn more about the other aliens that are going on in Roswell, New Mexico this season, if you could tease anything.
So afraid to say too much.
Fuck, I'll tease you if it's like that. It's fine.
If you were happy about that, you're gonna love season 2.
Awesome.
We get to learn, especially what Karina mentioned going back to 1947, learn a lot about my family in particular, and a lot of things revealed that I think shape the way that we are nowadays. So it's exciting. I don't want to give too much away, but you're in for a treat.
Yeah, I was going to say, we're literally breaking a story within a story, so we actually have a 5-6 episode run that deals with 1947. That'll dovetail back in what our heroes are going through in the present.
Kayla Ewell, who plays Michael's mom, is an old friend of Julie's and mine, and we're so excited to have her, and it's been really fun to challenge her and see what she can do.
That was one of the parts of the show that really interested me, kind of finding out that there are more aliens among them, that Michael and Max and Isabel's like alien families are among those people. So I'm really glad we're going to learn more about that. And then the fact that they announced that there's going to be a 5 to 6 episode arc where they, kind of have this story within a story where they're going to go back to 1947 when, the spaceship crashed and all this happened. That's really epic. I wonder if Jason Behr is going to be kind of in that storyline. Maybe he's going to play, one of the aliens from, 1947. We did get to see a little kind of like teaser of season 2, and I mean, that already looked great. I'm really excited to see where they go with Rosa's story and Max. A lot of big twists and turns went on last season, and I cannot wait to see more of that. I also got a chance to talk really briefly with Michael Flamis and Janine Mason and get like a quick picture. Michael was saying how like get ready for some like dark Michael storylines this season, and I also got a chance to tell Janine Mason, just how inspiring it is to see a strong Latina woman leading a CW show. She was so nice. She grabbed my hand. She was like, "Thank you so much." I was like, "Girl, thank you." Like, this is a great show. That was definitely one of the big highlights of New York Comic Con for me. Let's talk a little bit about Nancy Drew. I did get to watch the pilot episode for this, and it gave me like Riverdale vibes. It gave me like a little bit of Scooby-Doo vibes, except like, the villains are not actually just like dudes wearing a scary mask. It's like there's actually ghosts going on, like ghost stories. I don't want to talk too much about my thoughts on the pilot here because I want to do a separate video on that, but it was really cool to see that cast kind of coming together, and our lead who plays Nancy Drew, this is like one of her first projects ever. She did a really great job, and you can tell that she's really excited to bring this character to life. In the original Nancy Drew, Nancy would like figure out mysteries, and there was always some kind of real resolution, but in this story it does seem like they really are going the supernatural route. They kind of mentioned that and teased that in the panel, and that actually intrigued me even more because it's fun to see that there's kind of like this overarching story going on that's kind of like this ghost story, but then there's also like clues and mysteries that they're going to be discovering each episode. I'm really interested to see where it goes. I'm also going to just like insert a little clip here of Leah Lewis, who you guys might remember from Charmed as Angela Wu. She's in Nancy Drew. They asked her to sing in the panel and she was like, what? But she did it and it was great. And I like Nancy Drew. And I mean, I would totally be on board with a musical episode of Nancy Drew, so, if that happens, you heard it here first. I mean, nobody said that they're gonna do that, but they should. Let's get into Charmed. I know that's one that you guys are most excited to hear about. I am really excited to talk about the pilot with you guys because we did get to see it at Comic-Con, but I don't want to talk too much about that in this video because I'm gonna do a whole separate one on that, but I do want to talk a little bit about what we learned in general in the panel. So, this season is definitely more cinematic, it's more stylish, it feels like a movie, and the storyline itself spans 22 episodes, and then there's gonna be two kind of central mysteries. The first is what is going on with this witch versus demon war, kind of like where did that start, what's going on there. That's kind of the first mystery.
There's a war going on. We're coming for you.
And then the second mystery, I don't want to spoil too much yet, has to do with that kind of like demon assassin that we've seen show up in the trailer. And who is that? What's going on there? So those are like the two big mysteries. There's no really like Demon of the Week format, although they did hint that we are going to meet some other magical creatures. But everything that goes on this season, it's kind of like a big movie, it pushes the storyline forward till we get to that big finale. Like I mentioned, so like one of the big mysteries is the witch versus demon war. They're going to dive more into that. They're going to dive more into like the history of the magical world, and in doing so also dive more into our lead characters. We're gonna get to meet other relatives of the sisters. And then a big theme that they kind of talked around and that you really see in that first episode is this kind of idea of who are you when everything you know about yourself is stripped away. We're gonna dive into like family dynamics, breaking labels within your own family, learning to see each other in different ways. And the girls' characters are gonna be explored more as individuals and even as kids. So I think that's gonna be really cool. They basically hinted that we're gonna see some things from the past and kind of why they are the way they are. This show really is a different reimagining of Charmed. I mean, they really go somewhere completely different this season. The stakes are a lot higher this season. The girls and Harry really are kind of the only line of defense for the magical world at this time. Even the showrunners said like, how, Chilling Adventures of Sabrina is like a completely different reimagining of Sabrina the Teenage Witch. That's what this Charmed is. They said that there are not going to be references to the original Charmed in this season, and that it really is, a different show. And I think they do a lot of things in this first episode that really show that they are stepping away from what the original Charmed was. A lot of things. So we're gonna get into all of that, I promise you guys, in a separate video. A couple of other little teasery things that they mentioned. We're gonna see Harry and Macy's relationship explored in a really different way that we're not expecting. Poppy Drayton, who has a role this season as a witch, is gonna be a very mysterious character that even Sarah Jeffrey was like, I haven't figured out what her character's all about yet. Basically, my big takeaway is that the show is going to be more serialized. It's going to really like move the storyline forward. It's going to be very different than, what we kind of expect. I think that that's going to be a good thing. I think that this is going to kind of help differentiate it a little bit more from the OG series. Also want to throw out, I managed to get a selfie with Sarah Jeffrey and she was really sweet, so that was a cool moment as well. That's what's coming for these shows. I'm super excited and I cannot wait to dive further into them with you. If you like this video, you can check out more right over here. Alright, see ya.